Hey guys, hey guys, it's Kathy from Kathy's Happy Garden. And so today I'm just working out in the garden, just doing some pruning and cutting back and stuff like that. We've had some storms come through, and today is actually the first day where it's actually decent enough outside to come out and work in the garden. It's just been so stinking hot. Today's better. It's overcast, which is actually a great time to do some things in the garden during the summer when the sun's not beating down on your plants. So after a few of the storms came through and the deer came through and ate like the majority of my tomatoes, which I'm very upset about. So I had a really great harvest of tomatoes. Well, what I thought was going to be my harvest, the deer harvested for me, as you can see. Plucked them right off the stem. Nice. And then of course we lost the kale, and that was to the moth and the caterpillars. So yeah, green beans are doing great, and of course the mint is doing great. And you know, you always want to plant them in pots unless you want them to take over your entire yard. We will be harvesting some green beans today, which I was able to grab some last week as well. So today, one of the things I'm going to be doing is working in the wildflower garden, and the coneflowers are kind of overtaking. And I know probably some people will be extremely mad at me for cutting them back because I'm going to be a little bit brutal. But I have other flowers in here that are trying to come up, but they can't because the sun can't reach them. So you can see I've got some cosmos and some other things that are growing. And so I started cutting them back, and we're going to continue. I will leave some that look really, really good. I'll leave some in there for the birds and things like that. But for the majority of them, they're coming out. They're cutting. I'm just lopping them off to the ground. So the pond is doing great, and the deer are messing with it. They ate all my water lettuce, and they left the water hyacinth. So note to self, when I'm building my pond, make sure to choose water hyacinth. We do have some really big, I don't know if you'll even be able to see them because of the reflection, but there are some really, really big tadpoles in there. So I'm really excited to see when they all emerge. So I have no idea what kind of frogs I'm going to get, how many frogs I'm going to get, or what kind of frogs I'm going to get this year. So we'll see. Rest of the garden, I don't know if I'll get to this today, but the white garden is kind of struggling from the heat, and that's kind of normal. The coneflowers are hanging in there. So if I have the energy, I will probably stake some of the grasses and do some weeding. So I will show you the after effect when I'm done, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're all finished. I know I told you I was going to lop them off really, really hard, and so I did. For the front areas and some of the back areas, especially in the back, a lot of the coneflowers were reaching and flopping over. So they were shading and pressing down on other plants that I have there. So I really went to town on the back, basically cutting them down to the bottom. I did leave a few that were standing nice and tall, and where I saw nodes. And so some of the coneflowers I left, I just pruned back to the first node. Now, some of you are asking, what do you mean by that if you've never gardened before? So when you have coneflowers, let me see if I can find a really good one for you. Okay, so sometimes you can get, coneflowers are perennials, and sometimes you can get a second bloom. And so when you're cutting, you can cut them back probably about mid-summer. And this is what I mean by a node. So here, you see where I cut it. Here is where I could potentially get a second bloom, okay? So a lot of the ones on the front and even in the middle, I tried to look for ones that had a really nice node. Like here's a tiny one, see? That's a new node that's coming up. So I could get a second bloom from that. So that's what I did with the flowers that I left in. Here is the pile that I took out. And a lot of birds feed on coneflower seeds. So fret not, my people who are seasoned gardeners, because what I will do is I will take this pile and I will stand it up in those two. Those are my leaf mold bins. I'm making leaf mold. So what I will do is I will take these and I will stand them up in there so that the birds can still get the seeds from the heads, because you can see there are a lot of good seeds in there for the birds. And as they dry out, the birds will come. And as they dry out, if I want to, I can collect all those seeds. Every one of these heads has probably 1,000 seeds. So I'm not worried about not having coneflowers in my bed next year. I promise you, they will reseed, and they're also perennials. They will come back. So I hope you've learned a little something. But as you see, with me taking out all those coneflowers, I now have opened up everything in here to all the sunlight, so that all these late summer, early fall flowers will come up, because they'll get the adequate sunlight and adequate rain that they need. So I hope this was fun for you guys. I hope I gave you a little bit of information. This YouTube channel for me is very, very new, so I am very, very green on this, on doing this. And so I appreciate you guys, those of you who have subscribed to my channel. I really do appreciate it. And so, of course, if you like it, what you've seen, please give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to see more of what I do, please subscribe. And if you have any comments, any suggestions, I am not a master gardener by any means. I learn everything through garden videos, garden channels, garden magazines. I volunteer at Daniel Stowe Botanical Gardens, so I am always tapping into the horticulturists there for information. And so I believe information is free. I believe there are a lot of people out there who love to garden and just don't know what to do, or would like to start a garden and just don't know where to begin. So I appreciate all the other channels that are on YouTube that do have a garden channel, because I promise you, I'm probably watching you and learning from you. And I thank you for that. I thank you so much for that, because it has helped me enjoy and do great things in my garden. So give me some comments, suggestions, thoughts. I so appreciate learning and understanding. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and hope where you are, it is cooler than where I am. So have a great day, guys.